I am here at the home of Jean Lucas, and we are going to see her studio next. And here she is. Knock, knock, knock.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
You picked a lovely day to come.
It's a little chilly today,
Yes.
but
yes.
it's warm and cozy in here.
Okay.
Show us your sewing studio.
Hey, so shall we just start right here and work our way through?
Absolutely.
Okay, long arm. I have had this one for probably half of the time I've been doing long arming, but it's a very nice one. It's the Avante for handy quilter. But this all, you were asking about storage. Almost everything I have in this room has space for storage underneath it, so you can see down here. But I want to show you this. If you have a long arm and you don't have one of these and you have cats, you need to go out and buy this right now, because my cats were spending their time having little battles, one on one side of it and one on the other. One day I came home and the whole batting was just almost ripped by cats. So I saw this at I think it was Paducah, and said, "Give me that. I have to have that." So
That's probably good for little dogs too.
I'm sure anything that likes to play with stuff that's that's hanging. So once I'm going to show you this, I have a grandson who's 9, and he came at Labor Day weekend and helped me design this. This is his family with all of their
beautiful.
names.
Beautiful.
But he's going to be a quilter, I think, because he was so interested in all the fonts and all the colors that he had. Each of his brothers and sisters had a special color that he felt was important.
And he was only 8 when he
8,
did that, right?
8, and he's 9 now, so he's more grown up.
Did you want to show your
Oh yes. This is lots of people use pins when they're putting their fabric on the long arm. I saw this somewhere and it suggests this was good. You can just put a dowel rod in your piece, and then when you put your fabric on, you can clamp it down using one of these, and it does a wonderful job, and you don't have to prick your hands with the pins.
less expensive version of the red snappers?
Yes, it's exactly the same kind of thing, except that it didn't cost you this much. So. Okay, this area right here is kind of an office area, because in addition to quilting, I do a lot of the bookkeeping and information management for the rental properties we have. So back here's my desk. This is mostly, I do have a, let's see, who did it? I guess it's Bernina, the design software. So here, my new sewing machine that I'll show you over there has Wi-Fi. So I can sit at my computer here.
Oh, wonderful.
Design something and send it over there. So that's really cool.
So I'm just going to pan around your room here just a minute. You want to mention about you started out in a bedroom here and then added this beautiful space?
Yeah, I started out in a bedroom that's probably like kind of this space. And it was a bedroom most of the time, but I had my sewing machine and all that in there. And the problem was that when I was using the long arm, it was too long and it had to go across the door. So my husband built what do you call those lifters when you lift up so I could fold up the end of the long arm, and people could walk in and out of the bedroom until it was there. So yeah, that's.
And you decided this edition was a better deal.
Yeah, and when we built this on, we had some restraints that the driveway came through here. On the other side of the house, there were huge trees and things that wouldn't have worked, except some of those came down in the tornado. But we could go out to the driveway, and then over here was a beautiful Japanese maple that I didn't want to go down, so if that was the limit out that direction, over here on the other side is the kitchen patio, that area. So that's how it got, it's kind of an L shape and works out. But
lots of windows and natural light. I love that.
Yes. And the interesting thing about it was that there was a guy that, my husband worked at DESA, and they closed that down. And when he closed it down, he started doing building additions, houses, all this. And so he built this for me.
It's wonderful.
He suggested this up here. You see, it's the peak of the roof. But he built a shelf, and he said, "Now, if you want me to do another one, I can do that." We stopped there, but I think one of these days we might.
So how do you get those things off of that shelf?
I have a ladder. And I call my husband or one of the guys that comes and does handyman work, and we get it done that way. And then coming around on this side, we had a brick wall, but this became the perfect place for the design wall.
Absolutely.
And this is two of those like 2-inch thick
Insulation
used for
boards.
Insulation boards. And then this is king size flannel sheet. So that has been a godsend for a lot of things.
Wonderful.
because you get the- Now you see this lots of storage. That I found downtown on the square at an antique shop. And it's a tool box, but it's perfect for putting your rolls of fabric, not fabric, but the extra stuff, the insulation,
Stabilizer and stuff.
stabilizer, yeah. And you have to be careful right there. Up here, more of that. So further down, this is all the pins and markers and things that you need. Small rulers, weird rulers, the kind that you buy and then you're not sure why you did it.
I've got one or two of those.
And then more, just stuff that you don't use very often, but when you do, you need to be able to find it. And so this has been perfect for that. Over here, this is the outside the back of our house. And this is where the cat comes and goes because he stands on his hind legs right here and scratches on the door till someone comes and lets him in. And then we have another little office area here that is because we have somebody who helps with the rental properties, and so she ends up here. But she's very helpful when I need someone to tell me, is that the right color?
It's always nice to have another eye.
And then this table my husband built so that we had a table with the right height for cutting and all the other pressing type things, and space under it for storage. So one of the things I'm doing here is I've got those little track things that for the rulers, and so that makes it really easy to get to the things that you need when you're cutting. Have another set over here for the ones with the great big ones that you can't really get into a space like that.
And did you want to talk about your new beautiful machine?
My new beautiful machine. This is the Bernina 990, which just came out, and it has so many bells and whistles on it that are great, but I'm still learning. It will do quilting, and I have quilted a quilt, but there's a challenge to doing that because you have to put it in a hoop, which is a wonderful, let me get it here, huge. A very nice big hoop, but if you're doing anything of any size, you still have to take it off and move it. And some of the techniques of making it all match up in the end, I have not perfected it yet. So we're working on that. But anyhow, it's a great machine. It's not had any of the, sometimes the things that gum up and get bad, it doesn't seem to be doing any of that, at least not yet. But again, this little table my husband built, and that was because at one point I was taking things out on the porch, and it was nice to have a table that was the right size. And then after we got more space in here, it became the one that holds these machines. And I have one of those So Easy tables that work with my other machines, but this one is a little bit too big.
Yes.
So, but the tabletop is okay. And he cut a board that I can put that on if I want to take it with me somewhere and have a table to go with it. So.
But you have to have a U-Haul or something to take it.
Well, actually, I can get it in my Outback. But it's a challenge getting it in and out of the car more than getting
Right.
to it. And then this is one of the fun things that I found in an antique shop. It's one of those thread boxes that they used to have in stores. It's perfect for putting your thread in. some of the smaller pieces. All kinds of little knick-knacky things that you need when you're sewing.
Nice.
And then this little thing I found somewhere and I thought, oh, that's too cute. I've got to have it. But it's really handy when you're switching threads, especially if you're doing embroidery. This is an interesting little thing that came with my 990. This is a part of the...
I'm probably
Or the
making you
machine.
dizzy by spinning around.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Trying to go slow, but
Okay. So this has places for
wow.
all the little pieces of things that go with these machines. Another one over here that has room for if your fingers are working properly. Just more stuff, more of the little things that come with the machine. So you never know what you can find when you get a new sewing machine, but this was a nice one. Okay. One of my things that I did when we built this, because there's a lot of sun coming in on this side, especially in the afternoon, is I needed something, and I made this quilt, and it has a barn door slide for it, so I can move it back and forth. That was my husband's idea too. So.
That's an awesome idea. I totally love that.
The place I regret is that I can't get one here. This is not the space for the barn door thing. One of these days I'm going to just get a shade or something, because late afternoon in the summer it gets really hot coming through that window. So this is one. I have another sewing machine table, and I use this with the smaller machines that I have when I go on to retreats and things like that. But it's also handy because it's got a lot of little spaces. And hidden behind here is the bag for the sewing machine.
Oh.
Yes. Another hiding place for things. This is a barrister's cabinet. Yeah, so lawyers. And I found that in an antique shop down in Lebanon, Tennessee.
Nice.
And right, so that one, that's where I try to keep the boutiques when I have them. I've got these two barrel type things here that are for things that are on full-size bolts, and it makes it pretty easy to get to them from that. Then all of these here are IKEA bookcases, and they're perfect for when you folded your fabrics on half and put them on those boards. And then this last place is the books and things that have and more fabric over here. And this big chair is the place to sit and put your feet up and watch for all the other things that are going on.
So what is your favorite thing about your sewing space?
That it's my space, it has plenty of room, and I can get pretty much everything I want to do in here. The cats like to help me, so.
So it's your happy place, and it's their happy place too.
Yes.
Is there anything that you would change if you could?
If I were going to change, I guess one of the things I might do is make it easier to get to this stuff up on the top. But I have a handyman who'll come and get it down for me if I need to.
That's good, because we shouldn't be getting on ladders, should
No,
we?
we should not do that.
We should not. Any other tips or tricks that you would like to share with our folks?
Let's see, tips or tricks. These baskets that I've found are really handy when you just want to keep track of. And, you know, eventually you have to weed those out and put new ones in, but at least it's easy to find them in this. Having the TV is handy because sometimes it's just a matter of getting the news, but other times there are videos and things like that that you can watch on that.
Right. Jean, thank you so much for sharing your space. It's just wonderful to be able to see where you are, and especially when you create your beautiful quilts.
Thank you.
So thank you for having us.